everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Karina and welcome back to Ready Set Pan. Grab a drink, grab a snack, grab whatever you need because if the intro was any indication, this is going to be a long video. It is Throwback 30, which are 30 projects in one with stuff associated with everything so that we can do a lot of damage in a year-long project. So, 30 projects from the PANtastic Ladies. I gave more details about those projects in my intro video. I do recommend you check that out. And of course, we're going to be doing the first month's update for what I've been able to do since I last updated you guys on this project in the introduction. Again, keep in mind that there are 30 items in here. Of course, with everything else I am working on. And of course, some of this stuff I rolled in because I knew this was a year-long project. So things that will finish up in other projects, then I'll focus on these. And that kind of thing is going on with this. So I will let you know what the item is, what project it is for, if I have used it, how many times I have used it, and we will also talk about empties because I've got a couple of those. I mean, the obvious ones, duh, but still, empties are empties. Without further ado, let's dive into it. And the very first one listed for Throwback 30 for this year, because of course this does change every year, is going to be for the project 50 Shades of Green. Of course, pretty self-evident, a green item. I had rolled in this Lancome Artliner. I haven't used it. It's still very summery, so we'll get to this one hopefully next month. Starting rough here, guys. 50 Shades of Pink. Pink item. The Natasha Denona Cupid Cheek Duo. This is what it looks like. So we have a cream blush on one side, nice golden highlighter on the other. Have not used it, will not use it until after Graveyard Project Pan finishes because I am working on a highlighter in that particular project. So this one, not for a couple more months, which is actually coming up really quick, actually. November is when this will start getting used. But now let's get into some excitement. 50 Shades of Purple, my favorite color personally, and I had rolled in the Bath & Body Works Sunset Glow Body Cream. This, of course, was brand new, and it's not brand new any longer. Now, I did take this with me when I went traveling because a lot of my body moisturization products were at that point were either in a tub or were really close to being done. So I blew through a lot of this. I think I used like half of this in the 1 week when I was gone, which was like a lot for me to use. And then I've been working on it a little bit since returning. So we're like, there's still air in here, you guys, but we're like down to here or so. I'm not marking it because I'm literally at the point where I'm going to be cutting into this packaging anyway. So this one will be done for next time, which is good because this is a 2021 cream and it is very, very neon yellow. So definitely has to get used up. I am glad I've rolled into the project. Again, it's probably because of the vanilla note, the caramelized vanilla in here. But yeah, this is getting done and it's just fine. The notes, in case you don't know: fresh coconut, sparkling cherry seltzer, dreamy moonflower, caramelized vanilla. So a good summer and summer to fall transition scent. But this one, fantastic progress because it was untouched in the intro. Also fantastic progress on 50 Shades of Gold. I had rolled in this Pixi Endless Silky eyeliner in the shade 24 Karat Gold. And as you guys are seeing, it is much shorter. I do use this in the waterline. It's not my favorite color to put in the waterline, but I've been working through it. Now, because this is a makeup item, I do tell you my uses for this, which is why I didn't give you a number with the body cream. But for the eyeliner, and I clearly have done my makeup more than once in a day, a couple times, because I don't reapply a waterline eyeliner. Don't think I have. So these are going to be a couple in a day. 35 uses since I've updated you. So we've made fantastic progress on this. Not so much progress on Beauty A to Z. So the random letter that I got was R. So we're going with the Benefit They're Real mascara. And obviously it's still not because I have another mascara in this project. And I've been focusing on that one instead. So this one, nothing. For budget beauty, I had rolled in this Rimmel Wonder Cloud eyeshadow in Misty Mauve. Now, uses in here, they're not bad, okay? 13, which is higher than I was expecting because I was still working on trying to finish off like an eyeshadow primer proper, which hung on for a very long time, but because the stopper was already out of that, I really wanted to kind of focus on that. So once I finished that, then I started using this one as my eyeshadow primer. As you guys can see, there is a little bit more windowing. You might be able to see it like that big gap right down there. I'm definitely doing a lot of scraping along the sides. I do need to get the stopper taken out basically right away because I'm having a difficult time currently working on this particular item. But I am working on it now, 13 uses in, pretty excited about it. Child of the 80s. So this project, I went with the prompt of Princess Bride, an item that you love. I had rolled in the NARS blush in Orgasm. You've seen me work on this in This Is Pantasy. You guys know this. I haven't touched it, again, because of Graveyard Project Pan. I've got blush in there. So again, once that project finishes, we've got this one, or maybe another blush that's also in this project that has a usage goal. This one's to hit pan though, but so far, no use. Also no use on this moisturizer from Glow Recipe. This is the Plum Plump Hyaluronic Cream. Now, this is for the project Color Pan, which is normally associated with ColourPop and all of their kind of associated sister brands. I don't own any ColourPop, so I was directed a product from a brand that, or a brand that you have a lot of, because that was the initial idea behind Color Pan. So completely untouched. It's still all sealed in there. I'm working on other things and other projects, so eventually we'll get to this guy. Don't worry, guys. I have used stuff. So now getting into Day of the Dead, I went with orange as my prompts here. And of course, Day of the Dead is unique in the sense that there are 2 prompts for that individual item. So for orange, the first one we had was an item with orange packaging, orange color, orange name. So I opted to go for the Dr. Dennis Gross, the Alpha Beta Universal Daily Peel. There are 3 treatments in here. And in my intro, I was like, I'm not going to use these till probably next year. Right? I do need to use them because they expire in June of next year. But I've got other things going on. Well, I've been making progress on those other things that have been going on. So we started with 3 treatments in here, and currently there is 1 left. So obviously I've used these kind of products like once a week or so because they're a little bit more intensive. And there's only 1 use left in here, so really easy. The other prompt going in with orange is the sun. So we went with the sunscreen, which also fit the first prompt with it being orange packaging. This is from Vichy. This is their Anti-Shine Dry Touch UV Lotion. So it is a sunscreen. It has SPF 60. Very nice to see. But it is obviously a very mattifying sunscreen. So it does do that job, and that's just not my preference. My goal was to finish it. It's done. I can't get anything else out. Yes, I could cut it open, but didn't really like the sunscreen anyway. So I squeezed out as much as I could, got a couple of uses out of it, and formed an opinion on the product. So this one is done. So the prompt is half finished. Half finished. For Disney Princess. All right. So, of course, I rolled in Belle for my Disney Princess because that's the one I kept getting on all of my Which Disney Princess Are You quiz. Belle is associated, as all the princesses are, with 2 colors. For Belle in particular, she is yellow and white. I had rolled in a yellow product for her. And of course, fits Snow White in terms of the packaging, but it kind of fits the Disney Princess theme here. This is my Nina fragrance. I love this. This is a wonderful summery scent. I have been working on fragrances and other projects, but once I had one rolled out of It's Pan and Cats and Dogs, I started working on this. Now, what I've noticed since I've come back to this fragrance, the lasting power is not as strong. So again, I can only do like 1 spritz at a time, right? So 1 spritz, that's it. And then later on the day, I'll come back and do a second spritz. So I don't use much at a time. So this guy I've actually used 20 times. Very exciting, I know. So only 10 uses left to meet my goal, because my goal is 30. So most of my usage goals in this project is going to be 30 because it fits the Throwback 30 theme. So I have only 10 uses left to meet my goal. And really, if I'm doing full days, that's 5 days of use if I'm reapplying it later on the day. However, keep in mind, as I mentioned, I'm back to work now. I work in a scent-safe environment, so I don't wear perfumes and things like that to work. So I'm not spraying anything in the morning. So if I'm remembering to do it when I come home, then I'll get some more uses on it there. But just to keep that in mind. For drop 10 by summer, so all of your summer themed items, I had rolled in the Nair leg mask. So it is both supposed to help remove unwanted body hair, but also nourish your legs. So it does two things here. In the intro, I told you I couldn't mark this. I can't shine a flashlight through it. It was hard to tell where it was. Good news, I think I got through the air bubble finally. So I'm able to mark it, and we're here at this point. So it probably was like somewhere in here. I think I only used it 3 times since I last updated you guys on this. So again, right, it has its specific use. So that's where we're starting off from this point, and we'll see how long that takes me. Again, there may be product up higher, but I don't think I'm going to cut into this because it's kind of hard to use and all of that stuff. But this is my drop 10 by summer item. For the Golden Girls, this was one of my goals last month. I wanted to finish up for my prompt. The prompt was for Sophia, which was a sample size item. So I went as sample size as you can go with a foil packet. This one was from Neostrata. This was a moisturizer, the Restore pH Daily Moisturizer. It was fine. And as you guys can tell, it is done. Woohoo! Goal met. For Happy Hour, a product that is almost finished. Again, Graveyard Project Pan is a conflict right now, so I may have actually used this once, but it's basically at the same point. This is the Clarins Fix Makeup Hydrate Refreshing Soothing Setting Spray type thing. As you guys can see by the line, that is where we are. So it is close to done. It's not going to take me long once I start using it. But again, I do have a spray in Graveyard Project Pan. It is not done at this point. So once that project finishes, or I finish that item, then this one gets to play. For I Heart the 90s, and of course I'm a 90s baby. The big one that kind of resonated with me and that was familiar is the phrase, got milk? Which is associated with white product, white packaging, etc. So I had rolled in my Fenty. This is the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush in the shade Summertime Wine. You'll see a photo of where I was at the intro. My goal is to hit pan on this. So this is the cream blush I am using pretty much every time I do my makeup. So I have used this 31 times since I introduced it in this project, and the progress is here. So I'll have a picture so you can see it a little bit better. Is there movement? Probably. Am I close to hitting pan? Depends how I look at it. If I look at it from like just in the middle there, it looks like yes, but if I look from it from this side, you can see the product's kind of peeling away from that side a little bit, I think. It makes me think this is a lot deeper than it looks. So we got a ways to go with this guy. For It's Panning Cats and Dogs, of course, the prompt I picked from that was the Corgi, so a product that jiggles. So I start off pretty strong with my Peter Thomas Roth. This is their water-drenched hyaluronic cloud mask. I was being good at using this for the first couple weeks. But for the last week, with being back to work, my masking routine's a little bit off because it's just been really busy. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get back into that routine because I was using this 2 to 3 times a week. So from where I was to now. So it does move around a little bit and it's hard to mark exactly, but I'll have a video so you guys can see where it's at. It is substantial progress from last time. I am very pleased about that. This is my mask I'm using whenever I want to do something hydrating, except for when I have a sheet mask rolled into a project. This is what I use for it. And because of that, I do tend to use this mask more often in a week. But again, it's just with going back to the routine, I gotta get this kind of stuff also back to routine. Lip service. So all about your lip products. I opted to roll in something a little different for lip service, which is my lip scrub. This is the Nivea kind of like lip balmy type thing, and it's one of these kind of things. That's all I have left. This is really, I'm very bad at marking lines. Like when I look at it on the page, I can do it and I can see it, and then as soon as I try to take the picture, it's like, well, that doesn't look lined up, even though I swear I'm looking at it the exact same way. So the pictures are kind of difficult. Progress is not so good, and This one, I don't know if you guys can tell, it doesn't even seem to be that exfoliating. So it's basically like a chapstick at this point with the occasional kind of exfoliating thing in there. But I want to get this used up before I bring in another lip scrub. So, but now it's kind of contradicting with my other product that you'll see at the end of this list. So it's a little difficult right now. But when you look all the way down, I've been making progress. Not the greatest, but it's something. Monochromatic Project Pan. I chose the month May. May is associated with a red product, and that is what I am wearing today as my one and only lip item. That, of course, is the YSL. This is one of their little mini red lipsticks in 01. That's what I got. I've used this 3 times. So, and it's a little leaning now. Whoops. But again, depending how I look at this, either the line hasn't moved at all or it's actually moved a little bit, which makes me more optimistic than the Tom Ford one, which took me like 7 months to use up, which was a mini as well. But again, it's all about how you take that picture. So, and I've only used it 3 times. So, not the best. If I've been wearing a red lip in any of the videos recently, this is what I was wearing because I wore it 3 times when I went to film. Oops. Nightmare Before Christmas. So again, either Halloween or Christmas associations. I went with the prompt and item that reminds you of Christmas. Of course, with Christmas, I'm thinking of the classic Christmas colors, red, green, but also silver, which is where this House Laboratories Glam Attack liquid eyeshadow, I'll have the name up there for you. This one was in the shade Flash. And it is a silver color, as you guys can see. This has gone no use thus far because this is a winter color in my mind. So once the snow really starts hitting, which will be probably mid-October to early November, then I'll start using this especially to work because really quick and easy eyeshadow. But for now, nothing on this for progress. Nightmare on Panning Street. So for that one, I picked the prompt of Dracula, a product that sucks the life out of you, or in this case, the gunk on your face. This one is the Mary Kay Clear Proof Deep Cleansing Charcoal Mask. This one is my favorite charcoal mask I have found to this point. It was a brand new item last time when I introduced it to this project, and I haven't been as good. At least once a week. I do want to get this one to like a twice a week kind of thing because again, pulling the stuff out of your face. Can't shine a light through it, but just from like the squeeze test, I seem to be here for my progress. So again, not much. I do think it was basically completely full though as of the intro, so we have a very long way to go on this particular item. But again, not using it as much as I generally intend to use charcoal-based products. Paranormal Pantivity. So I had picked the black dog because, black dogs are still really cute, and make sure you still adopt those black cats and dogs. There's a lot of them. Animal-themed product. This is my mascara. This is the Tarte Man Eater. It's got the animal print, so there we go for the prompt. You cannot tell progress on a mascara. I have been wearing it every single time I do my makeup. That is the one there. I'm not a big fan of this mascara, and I don't know how much longer I'll be working on it. I have been using this for about a month and a half now. It's not the easiest to work with, so we'll see how long I keep working on it. 34 uses in this project thus far, so 34 times since the intro. So again, getting use on it, just not loving it. For same pan last year, I picked the prompt of the present, an item you got as a gift. This came in a Sephora Favorites kit that I got for a gift either for Christmas or birthday. I can never remember which one. The Shanna Darden Cleansing Serum. It is a cleanser. It is still at this point right up here when you shine a flashlight through it. Have not touched it. Won't get to this one until I finish the cleanser in Beauty A to Z. Because once that's done, I'd like to have something that's not the charcoal cleanser to use on days, for example, when I wear the charcoal mask and wash that off for the shower. We need to talk about this next one. And you may, if you paid really close attention to my intro, you already may know where this conversation is going to go. Size Matters is an eyeshadow project. It is based on something about the palette size that is big, it's bulky, it's awkward, it's whatever. Officially, the prompt is big, bulky product. So palette. I had rolled in this Profusion Mosaic Eyes eyeshadow. We'll get that out of the way so you can actually see this palette a little bit better. Goal was for 10 uses, which is what I do with my eyeshadows unless I'm trying to like use up a liquid eyeshadow, for example. And you can see I've dug my brush into here. I've used this palette twice. And twice is enough for me to know that this palette and I are... I've heard lots of good things about the Profusion palettes, but those have always been the ones in the rectangle. What are they, 12 shades, 10 shades, something like that? This came in a Profusion Advent Calendar, and either we have issues with performance, as in these fade off the eyes pretty quickly, or, see, here's the thing too, because the second day I used it, yes, the performance was a bit better on some of the shades I had selected, but as you guys can see, this palette really isn't anything special, right? I've got this over and over in my collection, and a lot of this does lean a little darker, deeper, smokier, which isn't my everyday kind of look. So a lot of these, you know, this one, that one, that one, that one, like we've got a lot of like outer corner shades. And plus the actual packaging itself, it is big, it's bulky, it's awkward, it's hard to use. You can't get your brush into those corners. So for all of the above reasons, right, the packaging, the color story, some of the lack of performance, and just generally my preferences, and it's not a lot of smokier looks, I'm gonna declutter this, and I'm not even gonna rip it apart to like keep some favorite shades, because there's, again, these awkward pan sizes. Like I can't put that in anything. And again, got them over and over. So I'd rather give this along to someone who could get use out of the whole thing, hopefully. And it works better for them and their makeup preferences. So what I've actually decided to do is I'm not going to replace that item, because again, we're only 1 month in. I did only use it twice, and the goal was to use it 10 times. / make a decision about the declutter, but I still want to roll something else in because it does also fit the prompt, and I want to know if I'm going to keep this or not. And that is this clearance quad. It came like this, kind of difficult to open there. This is what our little palette looks like. I'll have the name because at this point I have no idea what this is. It is the palette that I am wearing somewhat today. As you guys can see, this is a lot of like glittery shades. I did have to reach into a different palette from Match for the crease because I do prefer that. I am wearing this one in my outer corner. I'm wearing this one all over the lid, but I also do have Aphrodite from my Graveyard Project Pan, another House Laboratories liquid eyeshadow I'm trying to finish, kind of to give it a little bit more. So today's the first day I'm wearing it. I do want to use this a total of 10 times / make a decision if I'm going to declutter it or not, because as you guys can see, it is kind of big, awkward. It's got the plastic packaging, right? Because otherwise you've got this thing, which is kind of awkward to work with. So we're going to get an opinion on this and decide if I am going to keep it, because when I look at it, that's pretty. That is pretty. Right? We've got a pink, we got some purple, like... And there's at least some dimension to this, although these two colors on the eye did kind of look kind of similar. But we're going to play with it so I can make a decision of whether or not we're going to keep this or not. Long time on that one. Moving on to Skin is In. So this is all about your skincare routine or your body care routine. Anything for your skin is fair game. I, of course, went with another face mask from Peter Thomas Roth. This one is the 24 karat gold pure luxury lift and firm mask. This is a mask I would use probably like once a week, but I've used it 3 times, I would guess, because I don't track my skincare. So this was full as of the last update, or full of as of the intro. Had not touched it before. And you can see there's a little bit of use. Not a ton. Not like you saw with the hydrating mask. But of course I have a video so you can see that a little bit better. I do have some usage on it, so that's good. We'll keep progressing. Hopefully I can use this once a week. It will last a little bit longer than some of the other masks potentially, but That's okay. For the mask, I didn't even touch at all, for that's expensive. Strivectin it's expensive. This is their multi-action cloudberry moisture plumping cream mask. There's a lot of mask in here, and I didn't touch it at all. It looks exactly the same. I've had a hard time, even when I was masking a lot, I had a hard time working this into a routine between having hydrating mask, the charcoal mask, this one here. So I imagine when this one gets done, then we'll focus on this. We'll see. We'll see how that one goes. But as of this moment, whoops. That's so 2000s. YouTube is the product I picked, so something that was a YouTube recommendation. Last month, I talked about Kathleen Lights and her love for Burt's Bees Toast Cinnamon, which I have used a couple times, and I was like, yeah, I like that, but never did anything extended. So I have not touched this since the intro, because again, blush, already gave this spiel to you earlier. The goal eventually on this one is 30 uses, but for now, we're just going to put it back over here. Good progress on this one. This is Pantasy, so of course I picked the e.l.f., a product that makes you feel beautiful. I don't know, there's something about NARS and the cult love of orgasm. This is a mini of their lip gloss in Orgasm. It was completely full and it wasn't untouched. I think I may have used it a couple times. But good news, I've used it 10 times since then, and as you guys can maybe see in there, there's a little bit of some windowing. So I'm actually able to mark it right there with those 10 uses. So that's exciting. No, wait, sorry, not 10, 13. 13 uses. So 13 uses to get to there. Now, that may not be entirely accurate, because I have been putting this in my bag at work, and I don't have all my tally stuff at work. So I try to remember when I come home if I do apply this at all, but we'll see. We'll see how this one goes, but the general number at this point is 13, and we got movement, which is exciting. For tiny pans, so something that is a tiny pan in some way or another, I had rolled in the Matte Bar from Maybelline. Particularly, I'm looking at this shade Empire, which is this light pink right over there. Eyeshadow moves very slowly. It looks pretty darn similar to last time because I only used it twice. And of course, I use this eyeshadow when I am using my Maybelline Cream Color Tattoo eyeshadow in Socialite. I throw that one in the crease. So that's how this one gets used. Only 2 uses on it since I last updated you guys on it, but it will get some more uses because I was kind of saving Socialite for when I was back to work, because that one has a 5 uses per month goal. So won't see a ton of use on this, especially because it's a matte, and especially because it's a matte eyeshadow, but we'll get there. Turn and Burn, something you can get through quickly. Again, fastest thing to get through is a foil sample. This one is the Vichy Mineral 89, the Daily Fortifying Booster. We got through it. It is done. Awesome. We can move on. Women Who Rock. I picked Marie Curie for a new product, newly discovered. I talked about all the fragrance discovery last time, so I had rolled in this one because I wanted to kind of graduate up the challenge a little bit on my fragrance. This is the Mary Kay Live Fearlessly. Of course, I did give you all the scent notes in my intro, so do check that out. But guys, I am actually really proud of this. Okay, this is a 7.5 milliliter little sprayer, and I started here and I got to here. I'm very pleased because visible movement, and guys, I only used it 6 times. I know, 6 uses, and you know my struggles, like some of those like little tiny 1.2 milliliter samples take me 20-ish uses usually. That Jimmy Choo one took me like 40. That was ridiculous. I don't know the magic behind that fragrance. But 6 uses got me here. Now again, this doesn't have a lot of power to it. So unlike Nina, where it's like 1 spritz and that's it, I think I do 4 of this Mary Kay one, and I can reapply it. So I am using more of it, obviously, each time I use it, because I'm doing up to 4 sprays versus the Nina fragrance, which is literally 1 spray per use. So, we got movement. I'm so thrilled. And finally, to wrap up all of the projects and prompts, the Zodiac Panner. And of course, I am a Gemini, so that is a yellow product. And I got a lip balm for us. This is Burt's Bees. This is their moisturizing lip balm in strawberry. I put this in because it was, yes, it fit the prompt. It's yellow, but it's also old. And again, depending how you look at the lines, like, it looked like I made some progress, but then when I was trying to line up the camera, I made like no progress on it. So I just went with that marking. I used this 12 times, which isn't great. Some of those were kind of very light uses. So when I was doing my makeup, if my lips were feeling dry, it was literally like just one light swipe over the lips to give it a little something. I have also used this because I took this one traveling because it's easier to travel with this versus the Laneige sleeping mask. So I used this almost like a sleeping mask. So I did a heavier go on the lips for the week I was gone. Still, maybe potentially like no movement, but 12 uses. So, So what a ride there, you guys. So we had stuff I haven't even touched because, again, lots of stuff that I'm panning. But we have good progress. We've got some empties. So again, just as a reminder, these were the 3 products that I had finished, which, you know, very exciting, obvious goals, but still 3 finished items are 3 finished items for 2.5 prompts. So at this point, let's take a moment and talk about my goals for next month. I do have a little bit of variety of goals that I want to set. So this particular goal, I have 6 goals that I want to meet, which I know is more than I normally do, but you'll see why. Some of these are finished, some of them are usage. So first, I have a usage goal. This I rolled in particularly for the fall, and you know, it's end of August. So I want to make sure I get at least minimum 5 uses on it. I would go higher normally, but of course, you know, I'm also trying to work on a usage goal on a green eyeliner, and this is Fantasy. Yeah, I knew what I did to myself. So let's get some uses on this. For 50 Shades of Purple, I want to finish this body cream. So again, I'm going to cut into this, dig out the last little bit. I imagine 2 uses max are left in here. So there's not much in here. Want to get this done. And it's such gorgeous packaging. I also want to finish this little baby because that's going to be so exciting. Love it. Also to finish the Dr. Dennis Gross, there is 1 peel left. So in about a week, I can use the last one. I have 10 uses left to reach my goal on this fragrance for the Nina. So let's just get that done. And finally, let's get an opinion on this eyeshadow quad. So the goal, I want to have 5 uses on it total, at least. That means another 4 uses because I counted today's use as a use. But again, today's not going to be a fair test because I do have something on top of this. But I want to decide if this is going to be something I'm going to keep. And if I am going to keep it, then getting to that 5 uses gets me in a good position to be able to roll it out sooner compared to later. I made it! Thank you so much if you are still here. And we are now at the end of the video. So let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're doing this project, let me know how you are doing as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video very soon. Have a wonderful day.